Here we are at the Kraft Mountain Loop again. Here's Kraft Mountain in the Calico Basin of Nevada in the Red Rock Canyon area. And I'm going to call this my post-surgery experimental place. Last time I had a cataract surgery, I attempted the Kraft Loop in a clockwise motion or direction, and ended up digressing and heading up what I later discovered was Gateway Canyon. I missed the turn at the other side of the Pink Goblin Pass, which is this pass right here, Pink Goblin Pass. Now I understand the directions a little better here. And so I headed up the Gateway Canyon, and actually it was a great discovery because I discovered up Gateway Canyon and back door entrance to a potential backdoor entrance to Turtlehead Peak. However, when I realized my mistake, I headed back down Gateway Canyon and started around the other side of Kraft Mountain Loop. I got to a point that I needed to do some scrambling, and the rules of this type of surgery are you cannot bend over below your waist, you cannot lift over 25 pounds, and so I decided not to scramble down the side of a cliff, the class 3 climb on 3 days after my surgery. And good decision. I turned around and headed back out through the Pink Goblin Pass, but thought that, well, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to return on another low impact day and take Kraft Mountain in a counterclockwise direction and see if I can make the entire loop now that I understand where things are. If I reach a point where I'm going to need to do some serious scrambling, I'll probably turn around because that's not wise on a day like this. But it's kind of lets you know that even on days that you are a little compromised physically, there are some places you can still go. And yeah, I may not get all the way around the loop, but at least I'm out here, and that's the great thing. So there's always a place you can go. My last surgery, it was 3 days after the surgery when I headed over Pink Goblin Pass and headed up Gateway Canyon and navigated the canyons up there, and then came back around the loop, got stopped and had to turn around. All of that didn't bother me at all. It wasn't a bad thing. And so I'm going to keep it low impact today. Little difference today is that we're looking at 102 degree temperature by midday, and that could be a bit of a problem. So we'll see. There are other people out here. In fact, there's even a climber here with some with the pad, the crash pad on his back, and so a lot of people preparing to have a great time. Kraft Mountain Loop, a great place to just play around. So here we go, counterclockwise around Kraft Mountain Loop. Let's see how far we get without serious scrambling. One great thing about this trail is that very quickly from the parking area, which is just over the hill there, you get to the mountain, and then there's a pretty nice loop that goes around the mountain. And here we are at the base of Kraft Mountain, and we're about ready to start that loop and head around the mountain So let's continue on. But yeah, here you see the entire mountain area. At some point I want to climb this mountain too, which brings to mind this summer some of the great things that we're going to do is well, first of all, we take it's June, okay, it's the second weekend in June, so we are definitely entering the summer and the hot weather. We've got weather approaching 115 degrees in the Las Vegas Valley later this week, and that's when I head up to the Charleston Wilderness, and we'll be taking Lee Canyon toward Bonanza Peak and McFarland Peak, and just really scoping out that area, and maybe even tackling McFarland Peak at some point, which is what I hear is the most difficult peak in southern Nevada. We'll find out. Maybe we'll get to the top, maybe we won't. I don't know. But there's a lot of awesome places we're gonna discover. Another discovery looking for this summer is discovering a route from Cathedral Rock straight up to the south ridge of Kyle Canyon, and then up to Charleston Peak. Another discovery, which I'm going to keep top secret for now, is I have found in the southern Nevada area what I think is like a geological discovery of real significance that could be a destination spot for people who love to explore. And I'll be scoping that out and revealing it later this summer. So lots of cool things going to happen this summer. In the meantime, on this day, we're taking the Kraft Mountain Loop, and here we go. The loop is well marked at this point. I think the markings kind of fail you when you really need them on the far side of the loop, but we'll discover that. But here is an example, some of the great markings on this side of the Kraft Mountain Loop. And there's Kraft Mountain. Pink Goblin Pass. Blue Diamond Mountain. And there, by the way, are the Calico Hills, very popular from the Red Rock side, and then Red Springs Desert Oasis on the Calico mountainside. But by the way, there's a really cool loop that goes circles all the way around the Calico Hills, and there's also the Grand Staircase, which is a route up to the top of the Calico Hills, and all those are on LasVegasAreaTrails.com. And looking down toward Las Vegas Valley, and then here we are back at the Kraft Mountain Loop. Here we go. We are now at the first real turn in this trail, in this Kraft Mountain Loop, and what we're going to do is hug the left side. As you can see, there's a huge wash. Let's go over and take a look at what we mean by huge. Yeah, there we go. You can see, looking over the edge. Definitely don't want to be down there during a flash flood, but yeah, huge wash. We're not going to go down in that wash. We're going to hug the side of Kraft Mountain. Here's Kraft Mountain. We're going to hug the left side here and continue on up. In a little bit, Turtlehead Peak's going to become visible. We'll be looking straight up Great Gateway Canyon, and as you can see, lots of areas for people who do bouldering to enjoy climbing boulders. These may not be the very best. I'm not a person that does this, but you can pretty much put your crash pad on your back and just check out the boulders, and you will find the perfect boulder. I've seen a lot of people with those crash pads on their back hiking along this trail. Anyway, so we're going to continue on around Kraft Mountain now, around the loop, and see if we can get the entire loop this time without any strenuous activity. You can see the tip of Rainbow Mountain up ahead. There's the very tip of Rainbow Mountain, and then you go to the left here, there's Mount Wilson, both on the other side of Red Rock Canyon. And then, guess what? We have a great view of Potosi Mountain. And those mountains all have a page on Las Vegas area trails. Some I have, Potosi Mountain, I've been to the top of that one. Rainbow Mountain and Mount Wilson, though, I've, especially Mount Wilson, I've explored the base. Have not yet found my way to the summit, but yeah, we'll do that. It's a pretty challenging mountain to climb. And you look at that cliff there. When you're at the summit of Mount Wilson, you look straight over the edge, straight down 3,000 feet, sheer drop. Must be pretty exhilarating just to see that. Anyway, yeah. So let's go ahead and, Kraft Mountain today. We're an easy rider. We're going to continue around the Kraft Mountain Loop. Here we go. Here's an important juncture in the loop, not too far from the last video. If you want to continue around the loop, of course, you're going to hug the left side of this canyon here. Hug the edge of Kraft Mountain, which this is, and head right through this pass. I believe it's Gateway Pass. On the other hand, if you wanted to go to Damsel Peak, you would take a right here and then skirt these Calico Hills, and there's an opening, I believe it's right over here. You ascend that and descend into Gateway Canyon, take a left, and end up heading toward Damsel Peak. But our goal for today is the Kraft Mountain Loop. So we're going to continue on this trail here and hug the upper edge of Gateway Canyon for now. And there's the wash below us. You see the trail going over toward Damsel Peak. And looks like there's another trail on the other side of the wash. Interesting. But here's the Kraft Mountain Loop. Let's continue on. Continuing to skirt the edge of Kraft Mountain. Right all but in Gateway Canyon Wash at this point. Yeah, there's a lot of rabbit trails. We don't know if we continue. I'm going to continue this way and take the high road here. May need to go back down into the wash. We don't know. But hey, you can see the chalk marks on the rock up ahead. Evidence of bouldering. Put chalk on your hands or on your gloves, and that makes it work. There's my complete knowledge of bouldering. Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering if I should be in the wash or I should stay above the wash. This may just be a little split off trail that people who do bouldering take to reach these boulders here. I'm thinking more and more it is, but we don't know. Oh, look at this. It does go around the boulder. A lot of experimentation today. But guess what? You still end up descending into the wash. So it looks like at this point you eventually need to be in the wash, and we'll just look for the faint signs of a trail and where people have walked, and that'll guide us to where we need to be. But we do know we need to head up this canyon, Gateway Canyon. Here we go. Indeed, the trail continues, and this is a good sign here that we're on the right trail. Reminds us that we are heading into La Madre Mountains wilderness at this point. So yeah, good that we did not descend into the wash. Main trail is right here. And we're going to continue up Gateway Canyon now, but skirting the left edge. Here we go. Okay, continuing along, and guess what's coming into view for the very first time? That is Turtle Head Peak. So we're continuing on up Gateway Canyon and hugging the upper left side of Gateway Canyon as we continue along this Kraft Mountain Loop. Let's see if this loop treats us well all the way around to the other side of Kraft Mountain. Here we go. By the way, here's a quick 360-degree view so you can see what we're seeing all around us. Here's the canyon wash below us. And I think a lot of people mistakenly don't realize that the real trail is up here. Maybe they want to walk in the wash. I don't like to stumble over all those rocks down there. But lots of boulders all around us. This is Jurassic era sandstone, sand dunes that were frozen from the Jurassic era, and the reddish color is iron that leached up through the sand, and then of course everything solidified, and that's what you have. And then the darker part is a kind of desert varnish. It's an iron oxide, the action of the sun on this iron rock, sun, and I guess what little rainwater there is creates that iron oxide. So lots of beautiful colors here. Okay. Let's continue on up. I said about not wanting to be in the wash. I came around a corner, and guess what? You've got a choice of going upward, and I tried that. And it looks like it ends at all these rocks. I couldn't see a clear way to ascend there. Could be wrong, but it does not look like a trail. So that leaves us with one choice. Here we go, down into the wash. And we'll see what happens as we proceed. But yeah, continuing to look very beautiful all around us. Let's just check out this wash and see what we're getting into. In the wash now, continuing along. And so lots of choices, as you can see. Do I go left? But that looks pretty tight around that bush. So let's just continue right along these boulders. Here we go. Continuing along up the canyon. There we have Kraft Mountain on this side. And I'm not sure what, I'm sure it's got a name. the mountain on this side. This is, I believe, Gateway Canyon here, and there is Turtlehead Peak straight ahead. So there you get an idea of where we are. Very beautiful little canyon. And so far, no real scrambling required. I had to ascend a few rocks sort of like this. Not those in particular, but there were a few back there that had to climb over, but they're more like stairs. So let's continue on up and just see where we're at here. Continuing up this awesome little canyon. Gateway Canyon. Kraft Mountain on the left. And other mountain on the right. And we're going right between them. Sorry, I can't give you more of a definite idea of every little feature here. But all I know is so far, there has been no strenuous exertion. So that's really good. I'm sure if my doctor who did the surgery 3 days ago could see me now, he would have a 3-word message for me. Medical release form. But actually, just taking my time, very beautiful, and I would say healing to be in a situation like this. And I've always healed from any injury. I've healed employing smart motion. So yeah, keep moving. Don't just sit there and wait to heal, but be smart. So hopefully this is a smart choice. Look, we got a little bit of a climb here, but not much. Look at this. So looking very good. And continuing on, here we go. Continuing on up Gateway Canyon here, and wow, look at these rocks. They are just amazing. Look at those colors. You just wonder what in the world would cause these layers. Maybe it's from successive layers of water washing down. Who knows? All I know is the end result is just simply beautiful. You can see Turtlehead Peak up ahead through Gateway Canyon. And just looking around Kraft Mountain side. And then I'll officially name it Other Mountain on this side. Not as high as Kraft Mountain, but from the canyon here, very impressive. We got to be getting close to that area where I turned around on the clockwise loop a few weeks ago. Not knowing exactly where the path was that would not expose me to slipping 3 days after that surgery, and definitely do not want to have even one fall today. So we'll see if we can get around. The idea today was to go ahead and just, you know, look at this from this loop from the bottom up and see if we could do something that was totally non-exposed and very, very low impact. And we're getting into a little dicey area, but I'm sure that this will resolve. So continuing on. Here's the key. This looks very familiar. I think I was looking down from the top last time, and I was looking down this and thinking, no, I better not jump this 3 days after surgery. And then I came over this way And remember, I was coming from the other direction and thinking, oh, maybe this. Nope. That even looked a little bit dicey for 3 days after surgery. However, had I gone a little further, and remember, I was coming from the other direction, so I didn't see this. It looks like there's a nice little stairway right here that gets you over the top. Once I get over that, the top right here, it's pretty much home free because I'll be on ground that I traversed before when I was going in the clockwise direction. So this looks like the key. When you hit those barriers, hug the left and hug this wall right here. And there's a little stairway. So that is the key, we think. I'll let you know when we hit the top and are back in the canyon. Here we go. Okay, victory. Here we are at the top of that last little staircase, looking back down where we just came from. And so all we need to do now is just skirt this high point here, right next to this friendly boulder. And I guess you could squeeze in those trees, but I don't think that that's the best way. I am going to attempt this. And this looks like an easy little spot where I can lower myself with no exertion. And here I am in the upper canyon, which, you know, above this dry waterfall rocky area. And I've been here before, and continuing on up the canyon. Okay, here we are above the dry waterfall. Now, it's just a matter of continuing on up this canyon. That was the only real barrier of any sort. So we just continue on up this canyon now. It's going to open up in a bit, and we'll be looking for a cairn that marks the left turn onto the Pink Goblin Pass portion of the canyon. So here we go. Continuing through this beautiful little canyon and weaving around various barriers. Here is one barrier. So we're gonna take this around this way. So far it's been very possible to weave all around through this canyon without any strenuous climbing. Okay, after a little more light rock scrambling and testing out different routes for the one that's going to require the least bit of lifting and straining, I did find one that was pretty decent. And now here we are. I believe this is in an area that we have passed all the major rock scrambling areas, and we may just be home free at this point. And the main thing is to watch for the canyon opening up and look for the marker for the Pink Goblin Pass trail that circuits around the other side of Kraft Mountain here. So here we go. A little more weaving around. Not too bad. We'll just scoot up this little dry fall and continue on. It's interesting when you know you cannot strain at all or slip. Little areas like this that you'd normally just hop up, you look at them a little bit differently. Okay, that's the end of scrambling. All we need to do now is watch for that marker to circle around the other side of Kraft Mountain and up Pink Goblin Pass. We'll take it nice and gradual. Should be no problem. The area that I've just traversed is the most had the most opportunity to strain and bend over and lift myself too dramatically, but hey, I was able to manage taking it easy and still making it through that section. The rest is just a ascent up over Pink Goblin Pass and back down to the trailhead. Puzzle. There's a sign that says designated route, and it's pointing up right into this area, and maybe that's a shortcut to the pass, but I like to go a little bit further to a more gradual trail, and that's where the actual loop trail descends from Pink Goblin Pass, and that's up ahead. I'll show you where that is. Anyway, there we have Turtlehead Peak. What a beautiful day. Everything is so brilliant today. It is a little warm, probably closing in on 100 degrees, close to noon, but there's a cool breeze. So let's continue on up this canyon till we hit that point where we connect with the Pink Goblin Pass. Okay, continuing up the canyon, but if you hit that tree up there, you've missed the turnoff. So, looking very carefully to the left. I'm not seeing any cairns. So don't count on cairns. Don't count on any rock pointers. Speaking of rock pointers, here's one. Here's an arrow. And see, it's pointing to this trail. I think this is the connector that takes you up over Pink Goblin Pass. We don't know for sure, and maybe I needed to go up the canyon a little more. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, this just looks too suspicious. So I'm going to try this, and it's only about, I don't know, 1,000 feet or so beyond that last video section. But you got to be watching carefully to see this trail. And as you can see, it's a pretty well traveled trail, and it's heading up in this direction. Let's see if it's the right one. We'll find out real quickly. Let's just go ahead and let's go up this little trail. See if it turns into something that resembles the route to Pink Goblin Pass. And sure enough, there it is, continuing there, going around this corner. So yes, this is the route to Pink Goblin Pass and around the other side of the Kraft Mountain Loop. So onward. As you can see, we're continuing to ascend. This is indeed the trail that leads over Pink Goblin Pass. I'll be watching to see if there are any trails that split off to the left, which would mean that that sign that said designated trail did indeed lead to Pink Goblin Pass. But apart from that, yeah, this is definitely the more gradual approach. You can see we've already risen above Gateway Canyon. And if you were circling Kraft Mountain Loop in a clockwise direction, you'd continue down this trail till you hit the wash. Then you'd take a U-turn to the right and head down the wash. And that's how you would do the loop from a clockwise direction. Anyway, let's go ahead and, well, let's look around a little bit. It's such a clear, crystal clear, beautiful day. Vivid colors, and there you can see Turtlehead Peak. Let's close in on the summit here. Yeah. Okay, and we'll find a way to ascend Turtlehead Peak from Gateway Canyon below here, and also another route to Damsel Peak. Not today, but in the future, probably in the fall when it's not so warm. Okay, let's continue on up to Pink Goblin Pass. And yes, it is a healthy incline, but it's very gradual. You just take it easy and you make it up to the top. Here we go. Continuing to close in on Pink Goblin Pass. And I'm watching for any trail that would split off to the left, which would mean that that sign that said designated trail did indeed lead up to this point. But so far I haven't seen anything. So I don't know where that trail, designated trail sign led to. But anyway, here's the 360. There's looking down Gateway Canyon, the other side of Kraft Mountain. Kraft Mountain here. Pink Goblin Pass here. So Kraft Mountain, Gateway Canyon between those two high points. And then looking down into Gateway Canyon. You see the dramatic colors, the color changes of these rocks. And then here we are looking up looking down the trail toward Turtlehead Peak if you were heading in a clockwise motion around the Kraft Mountain Loop. But we are going counterclockwise today, which means we are heading in this direction. And by the way, yeah, looking up, we didn't look up this way, but definitely pretty dry, barren desert, Mojave Desert landscape there. The interesting rocks are to the left. Okay, onward toward Pink Goblin Pass. Continuing on up toward Pink Goblin Pass, but just wanted to point out, lo and behold, there is a trail that breaks off to the left and heads down into Gateway Canyon. So that sign that said designated trail, yeah, you could take that and it would have been shorter than the route that I took. So just to give you an idea, yes, there are different routes, and maybe this is the route people take when they're actually doing the Kraft Mountain Loop. This is the main route down toward that designated trail sign and then into the canyon. And this is the route that I'm on that people take when they're heading up Gateway Canyon and heading toward Turtlehead Peak. So that answers that question. So if you're on the Kraft Mountain Loop, do take that designated trail sign. If you're doing it counterclockwise, head up the hill. If you're doing it clockwise, at this very point in the trail after you start descending from Pink Goblin Pass, watch for this right turn, and that'll take you on the most direct route around the Kraft Mountain Loop. Okay, glad we figured that out. Let's continue on up to Pink Goblin Pass. Let's stop here for a moment and look at the designs on these rocks. This side of the loop here. As you descend from Pink Goblin Pass. Wow. And there's Turtle Head Peak. Just incredible. And look at how the landscape changes on the other side of the trail. Let's go ahead and let's just walk up this nice little stairway. Get another perspective. Wow, look at this. You couldn't design this in a million years. Well, I guess it did take that long, but not by the hand of a human. Wow, look at this. Almost sensual overload. Okay, so there you have it, descending from Pink Goblin Pass. If you were to take the clockwise direction around the loop, Kraft Mountain Loop, there again is Turtle Head Peak. So, wow. What a totally amazing area. And there we are in the direction continuing up toward Pink Goblin Pass. Almost on the pass itself. We've made the summit of Pink Goblin Pass. And there's Turtle Head Peak. That's the direction we came from. You can see the trail down there. And now we can see in both directions. So you look at Kraft Mountain up here. And then over toward Blue Diamond Mountain and Potosi Mountain, Mount Wilson, and that peak up there to the right of Mount Wilson may be North Peak, not sure. But there's Mount Wilson, that squarish mountain. There's Potosi Mountain. And then over the edge here, you can see Blue Diamond Mountain. And then looking at Kraft Mountain, It looks like there's another trail splitting off and heading up over this area, which may take you down into Red Rock Park. So, who knows? So let's get up here and let's look down. Good view down. There we go. Down the canyon to Blue Diamond Mountain, and then toward the parking area where we began. So it's downhill all the way from this point. You can see the trail heading down the other side of Pink Goblin Pass and down back into Calico Basin. There's Blue Diamond Mountain. Quick 360. And there, up to the summit of Pink Goblin Pass. Amazing rock formations here. Ascended Pink Goblin Pass, see up there, and we have completed the Kraft Mountain Loop back at the beast. And just for the heck of it, let's see what is the temperature. Okay, there you have it. 93 degrees. Not as bad as I thought it would be.